short time in God's Word. Today, January 14th, and we are continuing in Genesis. We've got Genesis 34 to 36 and Luke chapter 14. We're going to pop over to Luke for the first time since we haven't really been jumping too much into it. We just read through it in December. I hope you're still reading all of it and God's speaking to you through it, and we'd love to hear about those things. So Luke 14 is where we're at. We get some healings, some parables. Let's jump down to verse 25. Great crowds accompanied him, that's Jesus, and he turned and said to them, "If anyone comes to me, does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, 'This man began to build and was not able to finish.' What king, going out to encounter another king in war, will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? And if not, while the other is a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for terms of peace. So therefore, any of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple." That's pretty heavy stuff. We don't often talk like that. But this is Jesus declaring and talking about. All the crowds are following. They're like, "Oh, he's so great." And all these miracles, they're clamoring for more. And so he's like, "I'm going to tell you how it is straight up. I'm going to give it to you true. And it's going to hurt. And it's going to be hard." And when we think about following Jesus, not many of us think about that. And maybe that's one of the great mistakes or errors of the church, modern church, is not emphasizing enough the cost of following Jesus. Because when you don't emphasize the cost to follow, it's easy to fall away. Or it's easy to not really participate, or not really to take it all seriously, or not really be all in. When you consider the cost, like a builder, like a king going to war, can we not? Consider the cost to follow Jesus may include everything, including my life, right? That's the gauntlet. And many would be like, I'm not willing for that, to that point. Or, it's interesting, he mentions a spouse and family and children and all these things. And it says hate. And you're like, man, others are supposed to love everybody. In comparison to is kind of the idea, right? Your love for God and your love to follow Jesus is such that it seems like, right? Because Jesus is so far above in first place in your life. How many of us put Jesus that far above all others? Because if we do, and when we do, and we do that regularly and ongoing in our life, and I don't think it's just a one-shot deal, I think it's that ongoing process of becoming more like Jesus, more surrendered. It doesn't make us less, or it doesn't keep the estrangement in our family. It actually grows our family because we're going after Jesus, and so we're loving him with all our heart, mind, and soul. That enables us to love others with our heart, mind, and soul, and that begins, of course, with our family. But following Jesus isn't for the faint of heart. It's not just that, well, yeah, it sure seems pretty cool. It's the cool thing to do, or that's where my friends are. And so pray for those that you see that it seems kind of casual. See, for those that kind of could take it or leave it, they're not really engaged in the Word. They're not really engaged in ongoing fellowship. And they're there, but you know that they're not really deeply engaged in following Jesus. Best thing to do is pray that their hearts would be transformed from the inside out. Till next time, keep growing, little by little.